Okay, well, hopefully you guys are ready for our relationship talk now. We want to talk about the true beauty of marriage. And I'm excited about this topic because, number one, I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, marriage, marriages are failed. Marriages will never work. Marriages are horrible. Marriages, is a prison. Nyamazeni tu kidogo jameni. There are people who are living their life and living their best life as a married couple. And I have a couple with us here in studio who are ready to share their story as well with us. Please meet Simon and Linda Kaba. Mr. and Mrs. Kaba, karibuni sana to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You guys are a good looking couple too, I have to say that.
Thank you.
Y'all look good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's hear a bit about your love story. I want to assume, Simon, that you're the one who initiated this chase, although it is the 21st century. So, Linda, power to you if you were the one on the speed chase. But I'm going to assume it was him. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's true.
Tell us a bit about how all of this began.
Okay, on my side, I do have a good story, but I really usually prefer a story which is the best.
Okay.
But I can start by saying
Good
that,
answer.
Yeah. I can start by sharing that I met her in church.
Okay.
I'd been sent there for a marketing job.
Wait.
Church.
Wait, I need a moment. Ulikuwa umetumwa. Okay, I have to speak in English for all of my international viewers. You were sent to church for a marketing job.
Absolutely.
But you went to market yourself.
Not really. In the process of marketing the services of the church, fortunately enough, I saw her. Then we started talking a bit.
Okay.
But more interest usually followed later.
Okay.
Of which as my part of story has usually head straight to the point, but hers usually has.
So I should go to her for the details.
For the details.
All right, Linda.
Okay, so yeah, we met in church. I first saw him. You know, when you're used to being at the altar, I was in the praise and worship team. You see everyone that is coming in.
That's right.
Yeah.
You usually worship like this. Hallelujah.
I know,
With one eye open.
especially when you're searching, you know. So yeah, so when he came in, I was like, I liked what I saw.
Okay.
But we never really got to talking. It was just hi. Until he stalked me on Facebook.
Why, Simon? That's a huge detail you missed out on.
I'm saying stalking because he commented on a picture that was taken in 2009.
Wow.
So how long had he been scrolling, you know? So, but since there was something that was already stirred up in me about him. When he talked to me, I didn't block that DM, you know. And yeah, that's how we got talking. We started with talking on Facebook, then we exchanged contacts, and here we are.
Great. Well, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
And you've now been married for how long?
We've been together for over 3 years, but we've been married for 2.5 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
2.5 years married. All right. So, Simon, you're actually a member of Thriving Couples on Facebook.
Yes.
And you're currently doing a series, is it titled My Proposal?
Absolutely true.
Wow. Please tell us about that. It's very different to see a guy on Facebook talking about, you know, being a thriving couple. That's very refreshing. Can I clap for you?
Thank you. Much appreciated. One thing I can say about that, because the whole scenario about the proposal was one which I had no idea about.
Okay.
Nobody had taken me through the process.
Yeah.
Then one time after, because while in Facebook we were chatting, I so much got fond of her, and I knew where I might be heading to. So I told her, kindly don't send me your contact. Let us just limit our conversation to chat.
Yeah.
Then, fortunately enough, she sent me her contact.
Y'all need to see what she just did. She's like, yes, girl. She just gave me a wink. Okay. She really liked that. That was a good move. That was a good move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're not rushing into things. You
Yeah,
allowed
true.
her to feel special. Well done.
Yeah, true. After that, once I received her contact and being brought up in Mombasa, I knew now actually this God-given have to move to the next stage.
Okay.
Then after a few dates with her, it's when I found out that we do have a mutual friend who we were with in KU campus in Nairobi here. Then I took a time, I see a friend and asked her, what did she tell you about her proposal? Because I understand ladies and girls do have a small chat here and there. How does she love or want her proposal to be?
Yeah. And we actually have pictures of the proposal on there. You guys can see as you're explaining the story.
Yeah, true. Then she told me actually her baby time story is that she wanted a proposal in a boat, in a yacht, just in the
Wow.
sea. Then with my Mombasa instinct, I quickly went to Mtwapa, looked for a boat person. I assessed the bookings and everything. Then I knew that this is very possible.
Oh, so you guys were both living in the coast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Then I knew that
Because hapo watu wamepata pressure kidogo, like, now I have to go to Mombasa. No, they were already there.
no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then after visiting Mtwapa, because it is not far from where I stay, the guy actually did the estimate and everything. Then I tricked her by telling her, since we have mutual friends, because in the process when I was dating, I introduced her to all my friends, where we had those small bashes here and there.
Yeah.
So I made sure that her interaction with my friends was that vast in such a way that she found my friends to be her friends.
Okay.
So I use that angle that we are going with our mutual friends just for a boat ride. During that weekend, I'd rushed to Sonara, booked a ring, all that. It was hard getting a measurement. I made sure I tricked her in finding. She had a ring. I asked her if possible I can have and see of some sort.
Yeah.
Then I took it to Sonara, measured the measurements. Then the boat ride was all set. I told her, bring your friends, I'll bring my friends. A limitation of 10, so just pick your best friends who you prefer. And then we got to the boat ride. It was really a tricky affair because now the kneeling part is what really took time.
Were you nervous? Why did it take time?
It took time because I was not sure, is it right now?
Okay.
Should I, which sign should I see in her, so that, and also being this is a bash event thing, a fun event, will the proposal climax everything?
Yeah.
Or by I having the proposal in the beginning, does it mean we end our trip? So it was that in conflict during that time.
But eventually you did it.
Eventually, once I had Bazo Kizo by Kolo during that time, and she loved it, and there was that dance move.
Yeah.
I knew the event of the song and the dance move will take away the tension. It's then when the dance was going on, I decided now is the time to kneel.
Shout out to Kolo. Bazo Kizo imefika proposal. Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously you said yes.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't expecting it though.
Okay.
So
Those are always the best.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was just a Saturday afternoon
Okay.
after work, you know. I didn't even know we were going on a boat ride. So when we get there, I'm like, you said there are reservations. He's like, just chill. And then the boat comes and we have to get on it. And I'm thinking, this day just can't get any better. So when he asks me to marry him, wow, that's why I'm shocked, because in the pictures,
Yeah.
because I didn't see it coming.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time for me to take a break. And when we come back, I want to now focus on your marriage now. It's been 2.5 years for you guys. You've known each other for just over 3 years, you said. So pretty quick, actually, right? I mean, fair standards, but, you know, pretty fast between you guys getting to know each other and then getting married. And I want us to now focus in on how the relationship has been, or how it has even changed now post-marriage, and just diving into some of those lessons. 111 444 111 is the SMS line. If you have any questions as well, you can send them over. I'm sure they'll try and answer them to the best of their ability. And you can also comment on Facebook as well at Switch TV Kenya, and we'll be back after this. All right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Kaba. That's Linda and Simon. And they're here sharing a bit about their journey with us. Nasikia wamefika na salamu, so acha niwape nafasi. Go ahead. Who are you salamuing?
Well, yeah, they asked me to send salam. So Sarah, Sheila, Mary, Betty, and all of you girls, thank you so much
I
for
hope ni
believing
salams
in
because
me.
they usually watch the show, not just today.
They do.
Good.
So, yes, thank you. Nimewasalimia zimefika. And zimefikia Joyce.
Asante. Do you have salams as well?
Yes, I do plenty.
Yeah.
I do have
Simon.
plenty. One thing I can actually, from all my friends in Parklands, Mombasa also, yeah, they've sent their shout out and they say actually receive more greetings and they are really, really humbled by you inviting us to this show. Yes.
Well, we're grateful as well for you guys accepting our
Thank
invitation. So thank you so much for that. All right. So just before the break, we got to learn a bit about this couple and how they met together. You know, there's something about worship team and prayers. And church. Okay. So, you know, good men and good women still can be found in church.
Yeah.
It is probably the place to find good men and women, hopefully. And they've taken us through their proposal. We've even seen some pictures of that. But I want us now to shift into the actual marriage and begin talking about that. And today we're really asking ourselves, what is the true beauty of marriage? And so let me pose that question to you. And I want both of you to answer this question, which is, what actually makes marriage beautiful? Because I think we live in a very digital, socially driven age, and we think that marriage is about these extravagant gifts and, you know, lots of money and traveling all over the world. And there are people who have that, but their marriages are not happy.
True.
So what actually makes a beautiful marriage?
Work. For me, I'd go with work. Like, we're all aware of the statement that input out equals input in. It applies also in marriage. Like, you have to invest in your marriage. It's work. It takes commitment for you to focus on the positive thoughts and feelings towards your partner more than you focus on the negative, because we all have the negatives. And it also takes a lot of sacrifice for you to put the needs of a grown person before your own, because you're trusting that they're doing the same. Because you're trusting that they're doing the same for you. Because it's a teamwork, it's a team effort. When he is down, I am down. When I am down, he is down. So how do we pull each other up? How do we make together our marriage a success? So
Right.
it's a team effort and it involves work. Yeah.
What would you add to that, Simon?
To add on to that, I'll say that actually on the process of making a marriage a success and a beautiful one, we need to know that we as human beings we don't have the wholesome ability to love. But because of the fruit of the Holy Spirit, of which is love, we're able to exhibit that. Even Paul in Galatians says that, actually it's in Romans, he says that his flesh has nothing good that is able to come out. But in Galatians, he advises us to walk in the Spirit. Once we walk in the Spirit, there are things we can exhibit. But once we walk out of the Spirit, that's why you find contempt and the outburst of anger, of which they are similar to what leads to majority of people fall out from marriages, because somebody when shouted, call each other names. But once you're in the Spirit, I can say that marriage is made beautiful only through God and
Okay.
through the principles of God.
Yeah.
Without that, it's not possible.
Yeah. And I love that I don't know how people do marriage without God. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just, yo. But I think it's great that you're both emphasizing that there is a measure of selflessness that has to
Yeah,
come
true.
into this, and understanding that it is not about yourself. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make. Like, we're so eager, so keen, desperate maybe sometimes even to be in a relationship and to be married, and it's very easy to then make it about you. And so when they're not doing things the way you want, you are mad. And it's not about that. It's a team effort, as you've said. All right. And so with that said, understanding that we need to be selfless, that when you hurt, he's hurting as well. How have you guys learned to live with each other's flaws? Because of course, you know, when you're dating, like, this person can do no wrong. Like, you can't wait to spend every minute with them.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, you also know that sometimes you also need a break from each other. You need to focus on your own things, invest your energies in your own sort of purposes and paths. So how have you guys then learned to live and accommodate each other, flaws and all?
Okay. There are two rules that have worked for us when it comes to flaws. One is acknowledging that I also have my own flaws. And if I want him to understand me and to honor me and to appreciate me and to love me the way I am, then I ought to extend the same to him. And the other thing is reevaluating the seriousness of his flaws. Because we realize that we put so much weight into something that usually isn't really a big deal, and if you see that, then you'll see that there are other many good things that he can do that you need to focus on, and not just what he cannot do, or him focusing on what I cannot do. So it goes back to sacrifice, like it's a process. Yeah.
And for you, accommodating each other's flaws?
Actually, I can say that we started out with a plan. Yeah, because we knew we are different. She has a different perspective of everything, because the society builds us differently. How we are nurtured by our parents, the schools we went to, it brings everything differently from our case. Then we decided to come up with plans, rules and regulations, so that we see.
Hey, rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Huko kwenyu ni kasi BK. Tell me about those, though. And I think that's an important point, that you kind of need to, everywhere, if you think about it, everything in life has its way of doing things.
Yeah,
it has its own procedures or process of doing things so that it works well and it works smoothly.
Yes.
And, I don't think there's any shame in saying that. Even in marriage, there's space for that. And we can call it roles, we can call it responsibilities, or just our way and understanding of doing things. So maybe you should actually elaborate on that. What does that look like in the Kaba household? In the Kaba household,
we set down 12, like we said, there are 12 a constitution on our case.
What? Hey, you guys have been married for 2 years? Wow, I like this.
Yeah,
okay.
Because we went into marriage with a background where it has never really happened.
Okay.
So we said we are starting this.
You mean from your parents?
Yes.
Okay. For both of you?
Both of us.
Okay.
So we said we are starting this correctly.
Okay.
And we will not want to have any issues prior, after us joining in.
Yeah.
And it has to work.
And really, we have to give our 100%.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it has to go to 50, 40 years.
Yeah.
Because
wow, well done.
We shall stay longer than we were with our parents.
Wow, well done.
And also we want to be an example to our generation,
right,
and also the society. So we had mentors. Actually, until now we still have mentors. We set down rules. Like one funny rule which I usually share also with people we counsel at times is that we can't go to sleep when the other one is we have a disagreement or an argument.
Yeah.
And if we have a disagreement or an argument in the house, the one who feels that has been wronged has to take the step and pray so that we'll be able to sleep.
Wow.
And we know the Bible says that you cannot come to God if you have not resolved your issues.
Hey.
So automatically we'll have to resolve so that the person can pray for us to sleep.
What? Okay.
Yes. So it has really made that before the sunset, we have resolved our issues.
Yeah.
The following day, we wake up, everything is done, everything is sorted.
Okay.
And also, there's this research which was done, is that if you do one wrong, remember you have to do like five correct things, 5 good things. Not just because a negative thing has more impact than a positive one.
Yeah.
You'll find that in most failed ones is that they give like a 0.8 to 1.
Yeah.
Of which is it's a low deal. But if we're working to give 5 to 1, you'll find that if you have wronged, like example, if I wrong her, I pray, then the following morning I wake up and do the breakfast and everything, you'll find that even her anger
it subsides.
Day by day, the whole day subsides. She'll be smiling back again. yeah, that's how we decided our roles
Yeah.
have to
Sio
play.
mnasikia mnaamka na mnatengeneza breakfast, amwanzi kusema bado umejaa.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are, if you are comfortable with it, you can share maybe a few more of sort of the
Rules.
regulations or rules you have in your house, if you're okay
Okay.
with it.
She keeps most of the them.
She keeps,
She has them.
she keeps most of them. She has a kajano. Okay.
No, we actually wrote them down after engagement. Yeah,
Okay.
so we normally go back to them. But one of my favorite is that when you see trouble coming, you don't avoid it, you confront it. In this way, we've been able to solve issues that would have in other in a different situation they would have blown out of proportion, because issues have a way of magnifying themselves if you give them time to cook.
Right.
So for us is that you hit it head on, you know, like if you see someone is going to do something, or you know, something you don't want done, you don't wait till it's done, you just speak it out. Yeah. And the other thing is time. There was this rule. He used to be a workaholic. I would call him when we were dating, and at 9 he's still at work, 9 p.m.
Wow.
So one of the rules that we had to do was that when the other tells you that, hi babe, I'm off work, your work also ends, you know, like as in see ati you, because you know we all have the our jobs are from 8 to 5, you know. So for him, he just likes extending at work, you know, until 9, you know. So if I'm like, babe, nimetoka job, then juu job yake pia ilisha, we have to,
Okay.
he has to like wind up, so that when we get home, we're getting home together, we have time together,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We don't strain the time we have together. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Someone here is asking, I'm Sharon from Nanyuki, really enjoying the show. Please ask them, how did they manage living with each other for the first time?
The first time. Okay, for the first time, the rules actually really helped us.
Yeah.
Because we had our own difference, our own issues. Because she's from a different area. I'm born and bred in Mombasa. We have a different lifestyle of how we love, how we show affection, and everything. Even I remember the first time while we were going towards the wedding process, she did not want the publication, of which I usually like to put everything out there, and as men, we like to mark our territories.
Yeah.
So on the first years, what we really we made sure we followed the rules to the letter.
Okay.
And also we made sure that, like on Thursdays, we usually have our day out. We make sure this day, even if we were having our confrontation in the morning, but Thursday we know by 6, we have to take each other for a date.
Okay.
No matter what, if you had issues, we like to separate that issue from the whole circle.
Right.
Because we know a circle has a pieces of pie. You can decide not to temper with the bad pie
Yeah.
and focus on the rest. You'll find that majority of relationships, once that bad pie is in the whole circle, they tend to focus onto that dot, then influence the rest. For example, a woman breaks a glass in the kitchen, you'll find that the day the TV won't be on, the children will sleep early, all those issues of just from one side of an era.
Okay.
But we believe if this era if it's really much possible, it can also be avoided, or as she said, we can decide to, after we have settled our issues, you know, once an error occurs, we raise our temperatures, the blood pressure and heartbeat, but we can decide first of all to cool down.
Yeah.
Then is it now we can talk about what we had postponed about,
Okay.
when everybody's at a good flow.
Okay.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was hard, especially with our different backgrounds. I got into marriage with, let me say, fear, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want what I had seen growing up. So he really made me comfortable. You know, he made me realize that I am yours. You know, like, tell me what you need. And I think that's a really good aspect when it comes to beginning to live together, because we didn't live together when we were dating. So when you make your spouse comfortable, enough, then the transition is smooth. You make them realize that, you know what, everything else is gone. It's the past. Now we're building a new future, and that really helps.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I think too many people sort of carry their baggage from, you know, their homes or how they were raised. But indeed, as we were learning even this morning in our devotion segment from King Hezekiah, just because something was what you saw or what you grew up with doesn't mean that it has to still be like that.
True.
And I think you guys are really trying to express that to everybody here today.
True.
That marriage is what you make it.
Absolutely.
And that's why, I mean, it takes work, but it works. It absolutely does
It
work.
does.
It's not a
And-
scam.
Yeah, it's not a scam.
It's not a scam.
And you're hearing that from a guy.
Yeah.
You're hearing that from a guy. But I want to thank you both so much for coming onto the show.
Thank
you.
And as we get ready to wrap up here, maybe I'll ask you as your final comment to just elaborate on that very briefly, marriage not being a scam, and especially to guys, many of whom seem to be very afraid of commitment these days. And for you as well, Linda, maybe just sort of your counsel to women out there. I think there's a lot of societal pressure, for what reason I'm still yet to understand, but a lot of pressure about getting married, you know, by a certain age, having this type of wedding, and clearly those are not the things that matter.
True.
That's not what's going to hold you. You'll have a great 6 hours, but the rest of your lifetime might not be very good.
True.
So maybe also a challenge to the ladies as far as their expectations coming in and their roles to play. Maybe we'll begin with you very briefly.
Okay, very brief. I can say that men should not be scared on taking up the step to propose and to make sure everything is set. Because for us, I usually take even my relationship as an adventure. Every day I decide to look onto positive so that I don't focus on to negative. Because I know if I build onto the negative, I'll not see her, but I'll see her flaws. But I really want to see her. And I understand that for I to have a happy life, I need to have a happy wife. That's what will really build my marriage. And that's what has really been my focus, to ensure that she's happy. Even if I make her wrong, but I have to understand, at some point I need to compromise. At some point I need to understand how we fight, but at the end of the day, we're in a team.
Fight fair.
Yes. After all this, after the fight, after the makeup, we know at the end of the day, I have to be her friend. Because it was really a challenge for me in the beginning, even she can share in the beginning, being raised alone as an only kid. I used to hold everything onto me. I used to say that I'm a macho man, that a boy you. But we find that it was burdening onto me.
Okay.
But she came in and started bit
right.
by bit peeling on the onion, and now me, and I'm comfortable even to share my flaws with her and issues and my fears.
Well done.
So for the men, they just to be absolutely fear not.
Okay. Very briefly, Linda, as I wrap up.
Okay. I think it's very important to, and this is something I did for me, it was not about the time. Yeah, I know we focus so much on time. I got married at 28, 29 actually. So it was not really about time. It was really about God molding for me the kind of husband I want to live with. Because like you said, it's an eternity. So you have to choose your eternity. Do you choose it to be hard or just, you know, hard with smooth, you know? Because there is hard, yes, even in that perfect marriage. But I had my own expectations for the guy I wanted to marry, but these are expectations that are quoted in the Bible.
Okay.
I didn't want to think beyond, because then I would be living a life of frustration right now.
Okay.
And that's just the thing with expecting too much from a person. But if you're expecting the kind of person that Paul talks about, and actually the kind of love that Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians 13, when he says that love is not proud, it's patient, it doesn't keep a record of wrongs.
That's right.
Wow, that's one thing that I had to pray really on, because I wanted that for me, and every one of us should, because in these relationships, it takes a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming onto the show and sharing your story with us. We really do appreciate you. Congratulations on your 2.5 years so far. And I don't know if there's a way people can reach you or follow your journey. Is it through that Facebook page? I don't know. Maybe you can share.
Yes, we are available through Church on the Move.
Okay.
Yes, and also we are having different accounts, but we are, because this is the process we are taking everyone through,
Okay.
leading them through the cabas where they'll have to learn all through
Yeah.
about marriage and relationship for both
Okay.
singles and those married.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you both very much for being here today. And with that said, we're going to take a break now as we get ready for our final segment of the day. Very quickly here, someone saying, Joyce, congratulations to the couple. They've been married a short while. They still have a long way to go. Sure. As we all do. This is for a lifetime. So we're not focusing on the 6 hours of the wedding. But thank you for your feedback there as well. And remember, 111 is the SMS line, and also comment on Facebook at Switch TV Kenya. We'll be back with Scholar and her team after this for our fitness segment. Stay tuned.